Good day, and you are in CBM
Balitaan.
Balitaan. Let us have the glance the headlines first. News headlines.
The financial instrument, the financial assets, financial liabilities, equity and derivative instrument, interest rate, income tax, individual taxpayer, and corporate taxpayer. That is for the headlines.
The financial instrument will be reported by Crizel Sheen.
Thank you, Raymar. Financial instruments refers to any type of asset that can be traded by investors, whether it's tangible entity like property or debt contract. And that's the report about financial instrument. This is Crizel Shane Coronado. Back to you, Raymar.
Thank you, Crizel Sheen. Next is the financial asset will be reported by Kimberly Collado.
Thank you, Raymar. Financial assets is a liquid assets that gets its value from a constructible right or ownership risk. Cash, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and bank deposits are all examples of financial assets. And that's the reports about financial instruments. This is Kimberly Jane Collado. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Kimberly. The equity and derivative instrument will be reported by Grazel de la Cruz.
Thank you, Leslie. Equity instrument is an investment that represents ownership in a company. This could be in the form of common shares or stocks that give investors the right to vote and participate in any profit the company generates. While derivative financial instrument is a contract whose value is derived from an underlying asset, such as stock or bonds. These instruments are typically base prices or values of the underlying asset. And that's all about equity and derivative instruments. Back to you, Leslie.
Next is the financial liabilities will be reported by Jericho Esteban.
Thank you so much, Leslie. In other news, financial liability is any liability that is contract obligation to deliver cash or financial asset to another entity. To exchange the financial asset or financial liability with another entity under the conditions that are potentially unfavorable. Here are the examples of financial liability and non-financial liability. In financial liability, accounts and not payable, derivatives, financial liability, obligation to deliver own shares, worth a fixed amount of cash. Non-financial liability, differs revenue or warranty liability, current and deferred tax liability, construct obligation. That's all for today. Back to you, studio.
The interest rate will be reported by Ivan John Canlas.
Thank you, Raymond. Interest rate is the price paid for the use of money, and it is determined by the combination of the producer's expected rates of return in invested capital and consumers' time preferences for consumption. Interest rate link the future to present. In essence, it is the market price of earlier availability from the viewpoint of the potential borrower through the lender's viewpoint. That's all about the interest rate. This is Ivan John Canlas. Back to you, Raymore.
Thank you, Mr. Ivan Canlas. The income tax will be reported by Crizel Sheen.
So we have the concept of income taxation. In general terms, the Philippine tax system distinguishes between the taxation of active and passive income. So let's proceed first to the active income. So active income refers to income received for performing a service, while passive income, it is irregular income earned without working for an employer or job where money is received in exchange for a service performed. And that's the part about income tax. This is Crizel Shane Coronado, back to you.
Thank you, Crizel Shing. So the individual taxpayer will be reported by Jericho Esteban.
Thank you so much, Leslie. Individual taxpayer are individual legally responsible for paying taxes and their income to fund the government function. The groups includes the employees, retirees, and other who must adhere to their country tax law. This reports income deduction and financial information through tax return, which are formal documents submitted to tax authorities. Example, the Internal Revenue Service in the United States. After calculating their tax liability, taxpayer must make the necessary tax payment between the government. That be all for today. This is Jericho Apostol Esteban. Back to you, Leslie.
That's all for today's news. I am John Raymer Al Caliboso.
And I am Leslie Ann Corpus. Thank you for joining us.
Stay tuned for more updates and have a great
morning.
This is CBN Balitaan. Chapter 4, Financial Environment, Part